that just... that was hot glued on there. I don't think that's the reason why it's not working, but... yeah, the problem here is that I thought when I got the boat that it wasn't hooked up for some reason, but normally, even though this doesn't have a key switch, if there were a key switch, most sailboats, as soon as you turn it in the on position, kind of like in your car, you'll get an oil pressure light, and you'll get the sound of a little buzzer indicating, hey, there's low oil pressure. But that's okay, because you haven't started the engine yet. Once you start the engine, that light should go out, the buzzer should stop. This, however, doesn't have a key switch. And according to the manual, if I hit start, I should initially hear the beeping and see the light. But I don't. Same when I hit the heat. I think the heat button to warm up the glow plugs should do the same thing. The reason I want to try to make it work, I see now that it's here, is that when the engine is running, if I have a sudden low oil condition, I will be alerted before I notice there's a mechanical problem. By the time you notice that, it may be too late to do much about it without damaging the engine. So I noticed this. I don't know if this was disconnected. This is the heater button, the glow plug heater button. I don't know if it was disconnected completely or just kind of loose, but it's certainly kind of loose. So I gotta give that female connector a little squeeze so it stays on there better. Okay, we're in neutral. Indicator light's too low. Ah, nice. Outstanding. This would take hours, but apparently not. Let's try to start her. Up. 101.7 hours. I can't be right. Dump the water overboard. Yeah, I'll be happy. It can't only have 100 hours on it. That's not possible. In 11 years. Show this again. Any Beta Marine people out there, you tell me. I see a flashing dot that would seem to indicate a decimal. The seller of this boat told me it had about 1,000 on it. Maybe he was reading it wrong, but the engine was installed in 2012. It's 14 years ago. You'd think it would have more than 100 hours on it. Not that I'm complaining, mind you, but that seems weird. What does it mean? Does it mean part of the display isn't working? I don't know. Anyway, I just found a really good use for this silly little hatch I put in here. Which I did because I had to cut holes here, and it just seemed a logical way to solve the problem. Yeah, I just found some online forum entries, some discussions about this panel, and that is definitely, that little tiny flashing dot definitely is a decimal point, but that would mean the engine only has 101.8, and looking back, the seller told me he thought it had 800 something hours on it, so it was probably at about 80 hours and change. This isn't working to get that stuff off, which would make sense because it was repowered just before he got it, if I remember right. Then he motor sailed it from North Carolina. I don't know how many hours that would be, but it kind of makes sense. I've probably put 6 not even 6 hours on the engine since I bought it, including coming down here from Point Pleasant. So, happy days. It's got a lot less time on it than I thought, which is great. I'm going to have to correct the survey and my other paperwork, but that's not a problem. I just realized another thing. If this thing only has 101.8 hours on it, that means it's going to be some time before I have to worry about valve tap adjustment or anything like that. That's great. I'm not sure offhand what the interval is. It's a couple thousand hours if I remember right, but I'll check it out. Didn't really, well, I guess I did need the tape. That could be tight. That could be tighter. Yeah. This isn't really ideal, but I suspect it had a different panel in there at one time. That's why they had to kind of put in a filler piece. Well, I did have a different panel, obviously. This thing originally had a Perkins 50. Originally, it had a Perkins 50, I was told. I think meanwhile, it's time to pull this grate and vacuum some of the leaves and other junk out of here. Better. This might be a good day to repaint this, but I'm gonna wait on that until I have like a spell of really warm, dry weather before I gotta reprime it and then do a final coat of couple of coats of the gray. There's a lot of that has to be done on this boat. But not today, not this week. All right, here we go. I thought about trying to belay myself while I do this, but not a good idea. Now with 3 strands. Go ahead and belay. Thank you. Yep, stand by.
Stand by, aye.
All right, I'm gonna need to go up a little bit more. Same deal. Okay. I'm gonna pull with my arms. So I just need you to help me. When you're ready.
Okay, go away.
Going up. 1, 2, 3, and one more. And again. That's good. Belay.
Gotta go up higher?
Yeah, I've got to try to get to that thing if I can. I don't really have to, but I'd like to get rid of this damn thing. Line coming in hot. All right, I need to come down a little bit, Hank, but not all the way yet. A little bit more. Right about there, belay. All right, and then I need you to let this bucket in to where my new level.
Let the bucket down?
Yeah, to about so I can get at it where I'm at now. A little more. Right there is good, thank you. Cut it off. All right, Hank, ready to come in. Actually, before you let me in, bring the bucket down, just in case it gets snagged.
Okay, lowering her down. You want to come down too?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you have to call me, sir. Give up my commission.
Sorry. How about swab? Does that work? that it was on that.
On deck.
Thank you, brother. You can keep it loose. I got the weight. Woo.
Alright. Fine job.
You too. Thanks again, man. Can't thank you enough.
Sure. What the hell else looks like we used to take a board, a couple holes, put our line through it, cross it on the bottom, and then a pair of cut off pants, oversized, the legs.
Huh.
Put it on the board, put a board inside where you would sit, where your ass is, and then screw that down.
So you'd use the shorts as kind of a hip harness.
Yep, like a hip harness, and you
Brilliant.
had the, plus you had the line, under that.
Is that a sailing thing or an ironworking thing? Or a Navy thing? Yeah. Never heard of that one.